In a previous video, we covered all of the updates coming to Star Wars Squadrons on release. All of these new updates covered matchmaking, leveling, challenges, ranking systems, and more. And all of this information came from a post in the Star Wars Squadrons subreddit. However, that wasn't absolutely everything. We were worried about overloading in terms of information, so we only kept it to the very simple, straightforward bits. So in today's video, we're going to be nitpicking at all the extra details that we didn't cover in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that video, be sure to click that information card in the top right or click the link in the pinned comments down below. So a lot more information was given via answers to questions that people made on that Star Wars Squadrons subreddit post, as well as separate subreddit posts as well. So we'll be diving deeper into what happens when you queue up in ranked with players with a higher or lower rank than you, what happens to your progression from moving from PS4 to PS5 for example, and the matchmaking differences between dogfighting and fleet battle modes, and much more. But before I get into all that good stuff, of course, my question of the day, which is, what console will you be getting Star Wars Squadrons on? For me, I'll definitely be getting it on PC. It's just right for me because I can use any form of VR headset that I want. I'm not locked to the PlayStation 4 version. There's a lot more customization to your HOTAS control as well. I'm able to pick and choose where I want to buy the game from, so whether I want it from Steam or if I want it from Epic Game Store. And if I was to get it on console, I'd actually want to wait out for the Switch release. There is nothing more that I would want than to play Star Wars Squadrons while sitting out on the couch, not having a TV available, or just playing it on the go. Will it come out on the Switch? We don't know, but if it does, I'll definitely be picking it up and buying the game for a second time. And finally, guys, we are literally 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days away until we finish up all our Patreon rewards. And again, you do not get charged on sign up, you only get charged at the 1st of every month. So once we hit the 1st of October, that's it. You have to wait a whole nother month to get your Patreon rewards. So if you want to get them now and as soon as possible, be sure to head over to our Patreon page in the top right corner with the info card or in the pinned comments down below. You'll be able to get your mitts on things like Patreon game nights with myself, extra videos that will never be released on YouTube, playing with fan spots, your very own EcksToo drawn avatar design, and unique Patreon-only t-shirt designs that will not be on our merch store. So be sure to not waste any more time. But other than that, let's get right into the video. So as mentioned before, these have been responses to comments in that subreddit post, so we'll be going through them one by one, and then giving my thoughts and opinions on top of it as well. I've been very fortunate to play FPSs on a very high tier as well as professional level before in my life, so I'm really interested if my opinions on the ranking system will match up with yours or not. So the first question is, if we're in the Galactic Ace rank and our friends are in the Maverick rank, can we still play together? And the responses from the EA community manager was, yes, it'll take your averages and your skill levels when matchmaking and widen the pool as needed. Matchmaking itself is not based off your fleet battles rank, it's based off an MMR rank, which is a hidden value within the game that you don't get to see. And you also have 2 of them, one for fleet battle ranks and one for dogfighting mode. And finally, it is also based on your ping to whatever server you connect to. You don't want to be entering into a game where you have like 110 ping when you've been having great ping all along, and it's because you're playing against someone in, say, like Australia. For me, I'm not really sure how to take this. I'm quite surprised if you'll be able to rank with someone where if you're on the literal top 1% of players and you're queuing up into ranked with a player that is in the bottom tier. I fear that might widen the pool a bit too much. Now, I'm not sure if they've specifically said that can't happen, but I'm pretty sure some players will find some decent loopholes that will help make ranked games a lot easier by bringing in a lower ranked player. Now, whilst I understand that matchmaking is based off a secret MMR number, those secret MMR numbers are still going to relatively relate closely to whatever rank you are in fleet battles. I fear that might open up avenues where you may have 4 Galactic Ace players and 1 Hotshot player, and then playing loads of rank to boost that Hotshot player all the way to Galactic Ace. But I'm pretty sure we're not getting the full story here, so I'm definitely assuming they've got something in place to make sure that doesn't happen. For the next question, they talk about there being huge advantages by having great teamwork, So what would happen if 3 players queue up into ranked? Is there a matchmaking system that takes notice of that? What would happen if your team was made of 3 pre-mades and another separate team of 2 pre-mades, whilst the other team has a matchmaking of 4 pre-mades and only 1 single player? Would that be even? And the official response to that is yes, the matchmaking will prioritize similarly faced structured teams first, meaning that if you're in a structure of 3 pre-mades and a separate team of 2 pre-mades, you're most likely to see that on the enemy team as well. This is so that the matchmaking game is as even as possible. Personally, I think this is an absolute must for matchmaking because it can definitely be exploited, so it's really great to see they've got this already pre-made and ready to go. Next up, somebody asked if they were able to use their glory points to buy cosmetics that are tied to operation challenges, or even the daily challenges on top of that. And Jay, the community manager, came back and specifically said they are tied specifically to those challenges or operation challenges, meaning you cannot buy them with glory. You have to do the daily challenges or participate in ranked. This I think is good because it encourages people to play more ranked, which widens the pool of active players playing ranked. And the reason I think that's a good idea is because it minimizes queue times. For anybody that is in a very, very high tier rank in any competitive online game, they know matchmaking can take anywhere between 15 to maybe even 30 minutes to just find a game of people in that high level caliber. So it's good to see that Squadrons is actively trying to coax people into just playing ranked. The next question covers if operations will have new rewards introduced over time, or if they're all possible to be purchased within the game. And of course that's been responded with that no, you'll have to play ranked and earn those rewards. The second question is a little bit more skewed. It asks if rank progression is similar to Apex Legends, where you have to climb to a rank instead of being around your MMR rank at all times like other games. Now Jay, the community manager, said that Apex is a good comparison and that the dogfighting mode doesn't use your fleet battle rank and it uses a separate MMR skill that we mentioned before. However, I'm a little bit confused because Apex Legends has that climbing to a rank system because it's a battle royale game. You're grinding up with similar matched players to climb up to the next rank and play with those type of players. Now I get where Jay's coming from here, saying that it's a good comparison because it's a standardized rank system. However, since it's a 5v5 game and not a battle royale, I do believe it will test the waters and face you against higher skilled players to see if you can qualify for that rank. Perhaps this was in reference that you cannot be demoted down a rank, but you can be demoted down a tier. If I'm honest, I'm a little bit confused about this one. I'm not fully aware of Apex Legends ranking system, so I don't think I qualify to give a meaningful answer to this one. The next question is about cross progression. If you buy the game on PC and then buy it on the Xbox Series X when you get it, will you be able to transfer all of your progress onto that console? And as a response, unfortunately, the game does not support cross progression, only cross play, which means if you buy this game on PC and then move over to a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you will have to start from the beginning with a new account. However, if you have this game on Xbox One, or you have this game on PS4 and you move on to the next tier of consoles, you'll be able to keep your progress and keep the same account as well. However, there was no information on whether or not you can move these save files over from Xbox to PS4. But if you ask me, I don't think you'll be able to keep the account. Next question is actually pretty odd. Somebody asked if you were able to pay to advance quicker in the ranking system. Personally, I think they were mistaking it as a battle pass system, which it isn't. And community manager Jay confirmed that no, you cannot. Next question was very interesting though. Somebody asked what would happen if you were very, very lucky with your first 10 matches and then got placed into a division that you couldn't demote from that wasn't representative of your skill level. Say for example, you're an average player, but for some reason you managed to win all 10 matches and were essentially carried through most of those wins. You were placed in a rank that doesn't represent you, say Galactic Ace, and you can't demote out of that, so you're constantly going against people that are just better than you. The answer to that is that there is a cap on how high you can place on initial placements, so you should be safe if you accidentally win all your 10 games. This actually confirms something that the post didn't, is that there is going to be placement matches, and roughly 10 of them. This is something I think is really, really needed, but it also adds some sort of meta on when you should play ranked. I'm not going to go into all the details of what I just said here, but if you're really, really interested, just ask in the comments and I'll respond in a very detailed post in the comments down below. The other question is how you'll be able to play with people on different consoles. Obviously the game is crossplay, but how? And Jay has confirmed that there'll be a friends list system within Squadrons that allows you to just pull people into a party and then play together no matter what console you're on. This is a godsend for me because Steam's friend system and inviting people is really clunky and really outdated too. So it's good to see that we have an internal system instead. The next question asks how much skill rating you'd gain or lose depending on the outcome of a match. Is it a set of points you win or lose, or does it come down to your secret MMR skill? Jay kept pretty vague on this one, saying it was a healthy mix of all of them, but I take that as a layman terms for yes, it comes down to how good your enemy players were. So if you're a good player and you lose against players that were on a lower rank than you, you'll end up losing more points, and if you play against people that are better than you in a higher rank, you're most likely going to lose less points if you lose. And then vice versa on top of that. This, I think, is a standard for most ranking systems on online games. Players should lose more points if they lose against players that are technically, on paper, not as good as them. And in every ranking system, there is going to be games where you'll probably go against people that are not as good as you, and then you'll be going against players that are better than you in some other ranked games. You won't always have games where players are just going to always be better than you. It just wouldn't feel fun. And finally, somebody asked what would happen once you reach level 40. Is there anything beyond that? Do you actually get more rewards, or is it just bragging rights? And the response to that is that you still earn glory from leveling. So even if you don't complete the challenges, you don't participate in ranked, you'll still keep earning glory through leveling up. And you'll still be able to unlock more cosmetics that way. However, judging by some of the screenshots that we saw, I wouldn't be surprised if there will also be some sort of bragging right that you've reached this level after all this time of play. Overwatch does this pretty well as well, and I think that maybe once you hit level 99, you revert back down to 1 just with a new border, whether it be bronze, silver or gold. But that does conclude all the extra information we know when it comes to leveling, matchmaking, ranking, and all other stuff in Star Wars Squadrons. What's your thoughts on all this new information? Are you satisfied with all of this information, or do you feel like they should be clarifying a few more things that you're concerned about? Let me know all of that, as well as the question of the day, down in the comments below. And before I go, guys, I'm going to mention it one more time. We are literally 2 or 3 days away from wrapping up our Patreon rewards. So if you want Patreon game nights with me, videos that will never be released on YouTube, playing Empire War against me on stream, your very own EcksToo drawn avatar, or unique Patreon only shirt designs that will never be on the merch store, definitely hit that link in the pinned comment down below. It really helps the channel, and it really goes a long way too. And of course, if you are a YouTube membership, you get those rewards too. So if you can't do Patreon, YouTube membership is also an option there. But other than that, I've been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.